please, please, please. I am. I wash the coffee pot out every day. Yeah. That coffee, $20. I got your back.
Oh, right. All right, are you ready, counsel?
Yes, thank you for the break, Judge. I do appreciate it.
All rise for the jury. Jurors, please come on, take your time, seats.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
You may be seated. Is your witness coming?
Yes, the witness is seated in the courtroom, Judge.
All right.
We will call Monica McBride.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth? Thank you. Please be seated.
Mike is going. May I proceed, Your Honor?
Absolutely.
Good morning. Could you tell us your name, please?
Monica McBride.
And Ms. McBride, did you know somebody by the name of Renisha?
Yes,
Who was that to you?
that was my baby girl.
And how old was she back when she died on November 2nd, 2013?
19.
Did she have a nickname?
Yes, I called her Muffet.
Did she also go by Nisha?
Yes,
And where were you living back in November of 2013?
19386 Wickham, Detroit, Michigan, off 7 Mile and Greenfield, 48235.
And who lived with you at that location? on Wickham?
Me, my mother, my oldest daughter, and my grandson.
Your oldest daughter, would that be Jasmine?
Yes,
Her son?
yes,
Your mother, which would be Renisha's grandmother?
yes,
And did Renisha stay there as well?
yes.
Who was Renisha's father?
Walter Ray Simmons.
Did Renisha have a vehicle that she drove?
Yes, she did.
What vehicle did she drive?
A Taurus, I'm not quite remember the year. It was
Remember
a-
what color it was?
White.
Was that a vehicle that was registered to her father, if you know?
Yes, it was.
Was she employed?
Yes.
Do you know where she was working?
Forge.
Objection, Your Honor, relevant?
Goes to background, general background information.
Okay, we get that from the jury for witnesses. Go ahead.
Thank you. Where was she employed?
Forge, temporary staffing.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit Number 1 and ask if you recognize this document. Are you familiar with that picture?
Yes.
What is that a photograph of?
My daughter.
Before she died?
Yes.
I'd move for the admission of People's Exhibit Number 1.
Any objection? No, Your Honor. Okay.
You indicated that you were residing at 19386 Wickham in the 7 Mile and Greenfield area, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit Number 2 and ask if you recognize that exhibit.
This is my home.
And that's where you were residing with Renisha, your grandmother, your oldest daughter, and your grandson?
Yes.
Move for the admission of proposed exhibit number 2.
Objection.
No objection.
Thank you. And for the record, putting on the screen People's Exhibit number 2. Ms. McBride, in front of you, I believe you have a monitor. Can you see that
Yes, I
monitor?
can.
Right. And for the record, that monitor is tied into the projector and what's shown on the screen. Is this a photograph of your home on Wickham Street?
Yes, it is.
And does this photograph fairly and accurately portray what your house looked like back in November of 2013?
Yes.
Were you residing on a corner?
Yes.
Do you remember what the street?
Vassar and Wickham.
How long had you resided at this location prior to November of 2013?
7 months.
During that time, did Renisha stay with you that entire 7 months?
Yes.
Now, as it relates to November 1st, 2013, do you recall the events of that day?
Yes, I do.
Are you employed or were you employed back in November of 2013?
Yes, I was.
And what type of work did you do?
I was the area manager for a self-independent houses.
And do you recall what time you would have arrived home on November 1st, 2013?
Around 10:40
In the PM or in the AM?
in the PM.
When you arrived home at approximately 10:40 PM, who was at your house?
My mom was asleep and Renisha was home.
Did your mom, how old would your mom have been at that time?
68.
And did she have her own bedroom in the house?
Yes, she does.
You indicated that she was asleep. Was she asleep in her bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And that's okay. You indicated that your daughter Renisha was also home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where was Renisha at when you first saw her inside the house?
Sitting at the table, watching TV, charging her phone.
That table that she was sitting at, would that have been like a dining room table?
Dining room table.
Are you familiar, or were you familiar with a person by the name of Amber Jenkins back in November of 2013?
Yes.
How did you know Ms. Jenkins?
She was Renisha's best friend.
Was Amber Jenkins at your home when you arrived there at approximately 10:40?
No.
You indicated that Renisha was sitting at the dining room table watching television and charging her cell phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have any contact with her, or did you speak with her when you came home?
Yes, I vaguely did. I more fussed at her because the dishes was piled up. The house was a mess.
Was it Renisha's responsibility to take care of those dishes and keep the house tidy?
Yes, it was.
She had not done that.
She had not done it.
How long would you say that you interacted with Renisha for?
About 5 minutes.
During the 5 minutes that you interacted with her, did she appear to you to be intoxicated?
No.
Did you ever get close enough to her to smell if she had the odor of intoxicants on her?
Your Honor, I don't know what that was a no to.
If
If she
she-
smelled the intoxicant or close enough.
Did you get close enough to your daughter to be able to smell intoxicants?
No, I did not get close enough to Renisha to smell alcohol on her.
After you fussed at Renisha for not doing the dishes and keeping the house clean, what did you do?
I went upstairs to change my clothes.
How long were you upstairs for?
I would say 5 to 10 minutes.
After you changed your clothes, did you go back downstairs?
Yes, I did.
Was Renisha still at the house when you went back
No,
downstairs?
she wasn't.
Do you have any idea what time this would have been when you noticed that Renisha was gone?
I would say about 15 minutes after 11.
While you were upstairs, did you ever hear if anybody came to the house?
No,
Would you be able to hear if somebody came to the house?
no.
When you went back downstairs and Renisha was gone, was the vehicle, that white Taurus that she normally uses, was it at the house or was it gone?
It was gone.
To To your knowledge, did Renisha drink on occasion?
Sociably.
When you arrived to your house on November 1st, 2013, did you see any evidence that she had been drinking at the house earlier?
No, I didn't.
Did you have any additional contact with Renisha on the night of November 1st, going into the early morning hours of November 2nd?
No, I didn't.
When you realized that she was gone, did you make any attempts to call her?
No.
What do you do after you go downstairs and realize that she's gone?
I figured that she probably went to the store by me telling her, because I scolded her and told her don't leave back out. So I figured she went to the store and be right back.
Did she come right back?
No.
What did you do then?
Well, after I realized and went downstairs that she wasn't there, I went back upstairs to just wait on to see, for her to come back. But I was exhausted and I fell asleep. So when I woke up, it was like 6-something the next morning.
How were you awakened the next morning?
I just woke up.
Okay. Did the police come to your house at some point on November 2nd, 2013?
Yes, they did.
Do you recall approximately what time it was when the police came?
8 o'clock.
AM?
Yes,
When the officers came, was it just one or more than one?
it was 2.
And were you advised that your daughter was deceased at this point?
Yes.
After you spoke with the Dearborn Heights Police Department, what did you do?
I contacted her father and asked him to come over there.
When you contacted Mr. Simmons, were the police officers still there?
Yes, they were.
Did the police officers remain there when Mr. Simmons arrived?
Yes, they did.
And did they speak with him as well?
Yes, they did.
Do you know of anyone that Renisha was friends with in the Bromell, West Warren Outer Drive area?
No, I wasn't aware.
Were you made aware that Renisha was expected on the east side?
Later on.
Your daughter Jasmine, does she...
Objection, Your Honor. Oh, I would object to any hearsay, but if you're gonna ask where she lives, that's okay. I don't want anything that Jasmine told her mom to come in.
Okay, fair enough. See where this goes. Go ahead.
Does your daughter Jasmine have a boyfriend?
Yes.
Where does he reside at?
East side.
When you say east side, are you referring to the east side of the city of Detroit?
Yes.
On the night of November 1st, 2013, was Jasmine at your home?
No.
Do you know where she was?
Over her boyfriend. She would tend to spend the night over there sometimes.
Did Renisha have a cousin that lived in the 8 Mile and Avon area?
Yes.
That cousin's name?
Demetria Burnett.
How old is that cousin?
19. She's 19.
Ms. McBride, at some point, strike that. On November 2nd, 2013, did you and Mr. Simmons make your way to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's office?
Yes.
And did you identify the body of your daughter, Renisha McBride?
Yes, we did.
When you identified her, this is ridiculous, but she was deceased, is that correct?
Yes, she was.
Anything else? Theory. When you arrived home on November 1st, 2013, did you make any observations of Renisha's vehicle, that white Taurus?
I seen it when I pulled in. It was in the driveway.
Was there any damage to it at all?
No.
Thank you, Ms. McBride. I have nothing further.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Carpenter.
Thank you. Good morning, Mrs. McBride.
Morning.
I'm very sorry for your loss. It's, I know it's probably very uncomfortable. I just have a few questions for you, okay? Do you know how long your mom was home on November 1st?
Mom was always home. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. She's got 8 plates and 3 screws in her left foot. She's very unsturdy of moving, and she needs assistance, and that's what Renisha did. She took care of Mom when she wasn't working.
Okay. And Walter Simmons is Renisha's father, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what his phone number is?
313-721-5277.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge, just at this point, I would ask that any of the information that comes out from our witnesses that's specific to their addresses, their phone numbers, not be reported in the media.
Okay,
If we can
fair
do that.
enough, that's a good order.
Thank you.
When you came home that night from work, did you see any marijuana in the house?
No, I didn't.
Did you see any alcohol in the house?
No, I didn't.
You testified, the prosecutor, that you, Renisha's 19, correct?
Correct.
And you said that she was a social drinker.
I know her to drink with her friends.
Okay.
That would be sociable. I never have witnessed her sitting up just drinking by herself.
Okay. Approximately how much would Renisha drink alcohol?
Well, as I said, I wouldn't know because she would drink with her friends. You know, socially, it's not like I would be sitting there watching her drink, so I wouldn't know how much she would actually consume.
Okay. Have you, as her mother, have you ever had a chance to see her intoxicated?
Yes,
Yeah, and what's her demeanor like?
go to sleep
She goes to sleep?
up under me,
Pardon me?
up under me. She gets in the bed with me.
I'm sorry. I know you don't have that. So if Renisha was drunk, she would come with you and sleep with you?
Yes.
You came home that night, and as you said, I'm sorry, do you need a minute, Mrs. McBride?
No.
Okay. I know this is hard. Only a couple more things. When you came home that night, you said that you were fussing at Renisha, right?
Yes.
She hadn't done her chores,
Correct.
right? And then you also specifically told her not to leave the house.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yes. Why did you tell her not to leave?
Because she hadn't did no chores and she had been home all day.
Fair to say you were a bit aggravated with her?
Yeah, don't move the car.
Did you tell her that?
Yeah.
Why'd you specifically tell her, don't move the car?
Well, that means don't go back out the, I know, you know, she got a car, so basically a teenager that when they get scolded, they don't want to hear it, so they might take a ride and come back. But I told her, and basically, you're going to hear me tonight, so don't move the car.
And she moved the car.
And she moved the car.
And you didn't, and it was against your rules, right?
It was against my rule.
Okay, nothing further.
Okay, any redraw?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Is she allowed to remain in the courtroom?
You don't intend to call her?
No,
Call
Your
for
Honor.
anything? Okay, you can stay here.
kind of people called Amber Jenkins.
Thank you very much.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth?
May I, Your Honor? Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you tell the jury your name, please?
Amber Jenkins.
Amber, I want to draw your attention back to November 1st of 2013. At that time, did you know a person by the name of Renisha McBride?
Yes,
How did you know Renisha?
that was my best friend.
And do you know where Renisha resided?
Yes,
Did you, what street did she live on?
Wickham.
And did you have an occasion to go to her home on that day?
Yes,
And when you went to her home on that day, why did you go there?
we were chilling,
Chilling?
hanging out.
Okay. And how old were you at that time?
How old was I?
How old were you on November
18.
1st? You were 18 years old? Okay. And do you know how old Renisha was at that time?
19.
Okay. And how long had you known Renisha at that time?
We knew each other since middle school.
Middle school, 7th, 8th grade?
Yes,
Okay. And your testimony is that you were best friends?
yes.
Okay. When you went to Renisha's house that on the November 1st, 2013, approximately what time did you arrive?
I arrived around 6, 7 o'clock.
Is that PM?
Yes.
Okay. And when you arrived there, was there anyone home at the home besides yourself and Renisha?
Her grandma was in the back in bed.
Okay. And did there come a time when anyone left the home or went, just go to the store at all?
Me and her went to the store
Okay. When you went to the store, why did you go?
to purchase liquor.
What type?
New Amsterdam
Do you,
vodka,
do you know what size?
a fifth.
Okay. And did you return back to the Wickham home with that
Yes.
alcohol? Okay. What did you do?
We played cards, shot games.
Okay. You played cards or a shot game. Would that be like a drinking type of a game?
Yes.
And can you tell a little bit, what do you mean a drinking game?
When the loser takes a shot of liquor.
Okay. And who was participating in this drinking game?
Just me and Renisha.
Okay. What happened during the game? Anything unusual?
Nothing really. I was winning, and that's about it.
Okay. You said you were winning, so and you were only playing with one other person?
Yes, it was just me and her.
Okay, so Renisha was losing?
Yes, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay. And when you lose at a shot game, what do you do?
They take a shot of liquor.
Okay. During the course of this game, how much of the alcohol that you had purchased was consumed?
We drank about half the bottle.
About half of a fifth?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I asked you, forgive me if I asked you this question before, but what type of alcohol was it?
New Amsterdam.
Is that a vodka or it's a vodka?
Yes.
Okay. And did there come a time when anyone got upset?
She ended up being a sore loser, but that's about
When
it.
you say she was a sore loser, what does that, what about her told you she was a sore loser?
She wanted to quit the game because she
Okay.
was losing.
Okay. And how did she say anything to you about quitting the game?
She just kept saying deal the cards, but she didn't want me to deal the cards without her participating, taking her shot.
Oh, I understand. So she would say deal the cards before she would take the shot.
Yeah, she wasn't going to take the shot.
Okay, okay. So after you said you drank about, between the two of you, about one half of this bottle was consumed?
Yes.
Were you smoking anything?
Yes.
What were you smoking?
Marijuana.
And what form? Was it cigarettes?
A blunt.
Okay, what's blunt?
Marijuana inside of a Rella.
Okay, Arello, I'm sorry, I know this is.
A Swisher Sweet.
Is that a cigarette type of,
Yes, and you dump the tobacco out and then you fill it with marijuana.
okay, and that's called a blunt?
Yes,
Okay, and who was smoking blunts?
me and Renisha.
Were you, was it a sharing type of a situation?
Yes.
Okay. How many blunts would you say was consumed?
Probably about 3.
Okay, and is that 3 between yourself and Renisha?
Yes.
Okay. It's come a time when you left.
I stayed for probably about 2 hours, so it was around 8 or 9.
Okay. And when you at about 8 or 9, was it time, you felt it was time for you to leave?
Yes, I was ready to go.
Okay. How was, you said you were, Renisha was mad because she was losing, correct?
Yes.
Is that your testimony?
Yeah.
And were you arguing or fussing?
No, she just really just kept saying deal the cards, and I wasn't going to deal the cards if the game wasn't going to go how it was supposed to go.
Okay. So would you characterize your interaction with Renisha at that date and time as an argument?
I wouldn't really say it was an argument because it wasn't no cursing or anything like that. It was just a disagreement.
Okay. And had you've known Renisha since your testimony was 7th or 8th grade?
Yes.
Okay. And what time was it again when you left the home?
Around 8 or 9.
Okay. Was there any cussing or anything going on at this game?
No.
Okay. And at that date and time, were you employed?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was working at City Trends.
Okay. Were you also in school?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know if Renisha knew to your knowledge, did you know if Renisha knew anyone in the Warren and Vermel area
No.
in the city of Detroit?
No.
Not that you knew of?
No, not that I knew of.
Okay. Did she have a cousin that lived in that area, if you know of?
No.
Okay. And during this game, was anyone in each other's face or anything like that?
No, we were just sitting at the table like we were when we were playing cards.
Okay. May I have one moment, Judge? Do you know a person by the name of Devonta Bynes?
No.
Okay. When you were with Renisha at her home, was she on the phone or texting or with anyone at that time?
I really don't know. I don't remember that.
Excuse me. Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Amber. Is it okay if I call you Amber?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. I know we've met before. We've had a chance to talk. Like I said to Renisha's mom, we're all very sorry about Renisha. I know she was your best friend since 8th grade. But I want to go back to that night on November 2nd. Or actually, it was November 1st, right?
Yes.
It was a Friday.
Yes.
Do you know what Renisha was doing that day?
Earlier that day? No, I don't know what she did earlier that day. I know she was with her cousin before me, but I don't know what they did or anything like that.
Okay, do you know which cousin she was with?
Yes.
What's the cousin's name?
Demetria?
Demetrius?
Demetria.
Demetria, female?
Yeah.
Do you know her last name?
Burnett. Or Burnett, one of them.
Okay, were you with them?
No.
Right. How do you know that? Did Renisha tell you?
Yeah. I don't know where she was coming from when I was on my way to her.
Okay, where were you coming from?
My boyfriend's house.
And where was that located?
Objection, relevant.
Your Honor, I think the location and the timing of where everybody was at and where they met is relevant. Hello, go ahead.
On Warren and Livernois.
All right. So how did you and Renisha first communicate on Friday, November 1st?
I don't remember. It could have been a call or a text.
Okay, about what time of the day did you first communicate with Renisha?
I don't remember that either. It probably was an hour or two before we met up,
All right, so sometime, what time did you meet up?
around 6, 7. So we probably communicated around 4 or 5.
Okay, so I have it clear, about 4 or 5 p.m. on that Friday night, Renisha invited you over to her house for cards and dominoes, correct?
Yes.
And she texted you and said, come over to my house for cards and dominoes.
I really don't remember the exact conversation.
Would it refresh your memory if I showed you a copy of the text messages?
If you want to.
Okay, you read them and just let me know, you know what, I better use a clean copy.
Get a clean copy of the text.
Thank you. At this time, I'm handing you a Metro PCS text messages from the date of 11/1/2013. Can you look at that and then look to see if you recognize your phone number and Renisha's phone number and read the text and then just look up when you're done, please.
For the record, Your Honor, she's handed the witness and the witness is reviewing people's proposal for.
That's your four? Okay, thank you.
And we'll stipulate to its admission. Do we want to admit that right now?
Yeah, there's no objection.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So have you read it? Do you recognize your phone number on there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and is it correct, did that refresh your memory about texting or calling Renisha?
Yeah.
All right, so, from reviewing the text messages, so when I ask you that at approximately, it's military time, but you see where it's 11/1/2013, where it says the time is 18:52:36? I wanted to show you something I could read. I think it starts with what, you asked for what, and then cards and dominoes. You see where that is?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, right there. Is that, so I'm directing your attention to 11/1/2013 at, well, it says military time, it's 18:49:14, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be,
Oh, yes.
6:49 PM.
Yes.
So at the time, and who texted who first?
I did. I
Okay.
text what?
And then at the next moment, at around, right before 7 PM, Renisha says, and it invites you over to play cards and dominoes at her house, correct?
Yes.
All right. I mean, you had not talked to Renisha earlier in that day, had you?
I don't believe so.
All right. And then you agree that, yeah, I'll come over, that sounds fun, we'll play cards and dominoes?
Yes.
All right, and can you explain to us what, you see a couple texts down where you're talking about, in the 1927, a couple texts down, so that would be about 7:30 PM.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
yes, and then you say, we are on our way.
Yes.
Who's we?
It was gonna be me, my boyfriend, and his friend.
Okay.
But my boyfriend and his friend ended up not wanting to go because they said they didn't have any money.
But you're just going to her house, why they need money?
Because we were playing drinking games. You know, men don't like to go and the girls pay for everything. We were gonna pay for the liquor, the weed, and they weren't paying for anything, so they weren't really feeling it anymore.
I see. They didn't want to mooch off you.
I guess that's what you could
Okay.
say.
And then where did they stay?
My boyfriend stays in Warren, Illinois, and his friend stays down the street.
Okay, so you're at your boyfriend's house, and they just stayed at his house, and you left in your car to go to Renisha's house, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so even though you say, we are on our way, it changed your mind, and it's just you.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, and with the Eastern Standard Time and Central Standard Times, these are kept Central Standard Time, so everything that we just talked about was an hour later. So all the times here are what didn't really happen in Michigan was an hour later.
Okay, so it was 7 something.
Right, you see, they keep them in, I think, Chicago, and that's Central Standard Time.
That's fine.
So what do you mean, we on our way, and then there's another conversation, okay, Taco 2.
Yeah, his name is Toko.
Oh, that was your boyfriend?
No, that's his friend.
Okay. So you're saying to Renisha, hey, Toko's gonna come over too?
Yes.
Okay, but he didn't.
No, they didn't want to.
All right, and then she says, wait till I call you, correct?
Yes.
And then you're, and I wanna know what's going on here with this conversation. Girl, we already on our way. Renisha's telling you, no, wait, don't come over. And you say, I'm driving slow, not turning around and coming back. I'm all the way, already on my way. I'll go to the spot or something and shit first, what are you talking about with Renisha here? Why doesn't she want you coming over?
Objection, that calls for speculation, why somebody, she can't tell us what somebody else is gonna, why somebody else is gonna want something. It's speculation.
Your
Well,
Honor.
she knows.
Okay. Do you know why? If not, don't tell us, but do you know why, Renisha was telling you, wait, don't come over?
No, I guess she said,
Well,
Objection, Judge.
Yeah, don't
That's
go.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You know.
okay, if you don't know for sure.
Well, I don't know.
All right, and then it's you're the one who says, I'll go to the spot or something, correct?
I didn't say that.
Did she?
Yes, she said that.
What's the spot?
The spot is the weed house.
Okay. So you're gonna meet, so Renisha was gonna go to the weed house. Where's the
Yes.
weed house?
Objection, Judge, relevant.
Stay.
I'm not sure where the
No,
weed.
don't answer it. Go on, next question.
Did you meet Renisha at the weed house?
No, I met Renisha at her house.
So Renisha, okay, she went to the weed house by herself.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, you don't know? know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. So approximately what time did you get to Renisha's house after wasting time and all that?
Well, by the text messages, it was around 7, 8 instead of 6, 7.
Okay, and you're doing the time difference for the,
Yes, I'm
Okay.
doing it by this.
okay, I'm glad you understand. So you got to Renisha's house about 7 or 8 p.m.?
Yes.
And would it be fair to say you stayed at Renisha's house for approximately an hour and a half?
Yes,
Okay,
because I left around 9.
okay.
Yeah.
And then nobody else came over while you were there?
No, it's just me and her.
And Grandma's upstairs, correct?
No, her room is not upstairs.
Oh, where's Grandma?
It's just in the back. Her
So on
room-
the same floor as you and Renisha?
Yes.
Okay, how far from where you and Renisha were smoking the blunts is Grandma away?
A couple of rooms.
Okay.
We're in
Does
the-
she leave her door open or closed?
She does it different. She has her room open and closed at different times. It's up to her.
That's true. Do you remember that night on November 1st?
No, because I did not go back and say hi to her grandma that night.
Okay. Had you had anything to drink before you got to Renisha's house? Any alcohol to drink?
No, I didn't.
Did you have any marijuana that you smoked before you got to Renisha's house?
Yes, I did.
Okay, approximately what time of the day was that?
Throughout the day.
Okay. Starting from the morning?
Yes.
Okay. So approximately what time did you wake up? 8 a.m., 9
No,
a.m.?
I don't wake up early. It was probably around like 12, 1 o'clock.
Okay, so about noon or 1 p.m. on November 1st, you started smoking marijuana, correct?
Yes.
And you were smoking it all day.
Yes.
Do you have any idea if Renisha was smoking it all day?
Objection,
No.
speculation.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever seen Renisha under the influence of marijuana?
Yes, we smoked together before that.
Okay, and when you met her, before you two started smoking, did it seem like Renisha was already under the influence of marijuana?
Marijuana really did not influence her actions, so no, I would not be able to say that.
Okay. She smoked a lot?
I'm not sure of how much she smoked.
Approximately how many times did you smoke marijuana with Renisha McBride?
Objection, relevance.
I think it goes to, Dr. Spitz needs to know this, the history of,
He does not even know how often they smoke marijuana together. If there's another way to get your information, you're welcome to it, but that is irrelevant.
all right. And, when you got to the house, what happened?
We went to the store, then we came back and we sat down and played cards.
Okay. Had you smoked anything before you went to the store?
No, we did not. We waited till we were in the house.
And, you were explaining what you were smoking, probably 3 blunts, but it sounds like you don't know for sure, right?
I believe, yes, it was 3 blunts.
Okay.
I brought up 2 and she had 1 already.
Okay, and so for the blunts, can you just show the jurors what it looks like? How long were they and how big were they?
A Rello is like this long,
And for the record, oh, how many inches? 2 inches?
I don't know how many inches that is.
Okay, I never know. For the record, the witnesses did it about 3 or 4 inches long.
And it's not thick. It's thin, like probably like that.
Okay, and for the record, the witnesses were putting their finger and thumb together for a little hole.
Yeah.
About half an inch diameter,
Around
I
that.
think that looks like a quarter inch to
quarter, I'll say quarter to a half.
Alright. And so the 3 blunts that you smoked, they were all about that size, correct?
Yes.
Did you smoke them back to back?
No.
So over an hour and a half period, you and Renisha shared 3 blunts.
Yes.
And you were telling us you were drinking that 5th of vodka, right?
Yes.
And you and her finished off a half a bottle, a 5th, in an hour and a half.
Yes.
You're 19, right?
Yes.
Renisha was 19.
Yes. I was not 19 then though. I was
Oh.
18.
You were 18.
Yes.
And Renisha drank most of the vodka, right?
I mean, I was not counting her shots, but I mean, I don't know. I was not counting her shots.
Renisha was getting mad at you.
She was being a sore loser. So, if you want to say she was mad, yes.
And you made a statement on November 22nd in 2013 to one of the prosecutor's investigators. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And when you were talking to the prosecutor's investigator, you stated she was mad, that's why I left. Right?
Yes, because she was being a sore loser, and I wasn't participating in the game no more, so I left.
She actually followed you out of the house, right?
Yes, she took me to my car.
Okay, but she was following you out of the house not to escort you to your car, was she?
She wasn't following me to cause no problems.
She was trying to get you to stay, right?
Yeah.
She wanted, and you had never quite seen her like this before in how long you've known her, right?
We drank before. She's always been a sore loser since I've met her. So,
Have you ever had to leave her house because you didn't want things to escalate?
no.
This was the first time you had to leave Renisha's house that night because you thought her behavior was gonna escalate.
ask and answer, Judge.
Well, I don't know if that has been asked and answered. Did you leave her house because you thought her behavior was going to escalate?
No, I left because I didn't want to play anymore with her.
May I approach Your Honor?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right, I'm gonna, it's the memo, November 22nd, 2013,
Page one.
page 2.
Okay.
Remember the conversation we just had about when you gave a statement on November 22nd
Yes.
to Jay Bivens? I think was the investigator's name. Okay. Can you review that? And, there's some quotes from you in there. You didn't write that, did you?
No, I didn't type this up.
You didn't type it, you just gave an oral statement to the investigator.
Yes.
You just talked to him, and then
Yes.
he typed it up.
Yes.
Did you review it after he typed it up?
No, I never seen this paper until today when I was back there.
All right, can you look on the second page? And I highlighted a part of it where it says, "I'm mad." Can you read that to yourself?
The which part?
Where it says, "I'm mad."
Why don't you point it out to her? Sure. Thank you.
Easier. This answer of yours. Is that the answer you gave to the investigator when you were talking to him?
Yes.
And can you read what answer, when the investigator asked you why you left Renisha, can you read the answer that you gave him?
I said she was mad, that's why I left. I didn't want it to escalate into something else. I said so, bye, and left.
Okay. So it's true, you didn't want it to escalate, correct?
Yes, but it not escalate into a fight or anything like that. Just escalate with her getting loud or me getting loud because she wants to play and not take her shots, and I want to play the game the way that we were playing it. So we would have had a disagreement, and I was tipsy. Can't say what she was, but I was tipsy, so that would have just caused me to get a headache, and I just wasn't going through that, so I decided to go home.
You knew it was gonna be a hassle and you just wanted to avoid it.
She wanted to play and I didn't. It wasn't nothing really else to do at her house besides watch TV, so it's no reason for me to stay there. I didn't have money. I wasn't about to go out like that. I just spent my money on the liquor we brought, so I left.
Did you ever see Renisha again that night?
No,
Did you ever talk to her that night?
no,
Do you have any idea where she went that night?
no. I didn't talk to her no more that night.
When you were over at her house, did she ever say, "I have plans to do such and such later on tonight"?
No, we did not talk about any further plans.
Okay. Do you know if Renisha was right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Oh, do you have a medical marijuana card?
Objection.
No.
Okay.
Objection's the same.
Do you know if, and only if you know, don't speculate, but, did you overhear Renisha that night lying about where she was at to somebody?
No.
And what time, if you know, was Renisha on the east side that day?
I'm not aware of her being on the east side.
Nothing further, thank you.
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Jenkins, on November 1st, 2013, what was your telephone number at that time?
248-342-6583.
I'm sorry, 248?
342-6583.
Thank you. And the statement that Ms. Carpenter showed you from the investigator, had you had an opportunity to read that statement before today?
No.
Had you and Renisha ever had an argument or a fight before?
No.
So at this time, when you said Renisha got mad about the game, did she get loud?
Well, we were trying to talk over each other, so if you want to say that was getting loud, because, we were trying to be louder than the other one, but not loud offensively.
Okay. So it was a conversation between both of you?
Yes.
And it was back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you also asked how would Renisha act when she was high. How did she act when she was high?
Just chilled. She was just laid back.
Is that with drinking and smoking?
Yes, we were always just laid back. We didn't really cause problems or look for problems or anything like that.
Okay. Then when you left the home that night, you said Renisha followed you out to your car?
Yes.
Was she being hostile when she followed you out?
No, just still talking.
Okay. At any time, did you think she was going to hit you or anything?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Ms. Carpenter, any additional questions?
May we approach?
Come on up. Okay, Ms. Carpenter, any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Step down. At this point, I think it's appropriate time to get the jury the lunch break. It's 12 o'clock for the record. I have entered an order prohibiting the media from reporting any personal information about the witnesses or family members in this case. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the rules. You're not allowed to do any independent research or talk to anyone about the case. You can leave all of your notebooks and notepads on the chairs. If you don't have to go into your room, you can exit out that room. And I will see you in an hour at 1 o'clock.
Your Honor, can we have an admonishment too? I don't think the jurors were ever told they can't talk about the case amongst themselves until they get back there.
Okay.